Good evening. This is Peter McFarland. I'm Chair of the Norwood Sustainability Commission. I'm calling the Monday, January 25th, 2021 meeting to order. So first order of business is I'd just like to take I don't know if you've heard the news that Bernie Cooper passed, the assistant town manager passed away last night. So if anybody knows him, he was a great guy. I've known him for quite a bit. His daughter, Alicia, and my son, Andrew, graduated together from Norwood High. So go back with him for, the class of 2007. So go back quite a few years for knowing Bernie, not just through town, but, through family. So my condolences to the Cooper family and wishing everybody the best in these tough times. So with that being said, I don't know if anybody else would like to chime in anything, but feel free if you'd like to. So for our first order of business is taking a look at the Sustainability Action Plan. As far as, has any of the department heads chimed back on us, Joe?
We've got one. Well, she's technically not a department head, but she's the new conservation agent, Holly Jones. So she left a few comments we can discuss if you'd like.
Sure.
That's good because I don't think she'd seen it before. I don't think she'd been on board yet, so that's great.
You're right.
Yeah, I mean, she's probably new high, September, October, she came on board, something like that. But she's really into the swing of things. I saw her yesterday at the Norwood Trail at a hike through the conservation land over on University Ave, and talked to her a little bit then. So he was pretty well engaged in all this. Like she's been here for a while, not just somebody new coming onto the scene, but good things. So as far as that goes, anybody else have any comments or anything they've heard about the plan at all, or what we want to do from here on in as far as that goes?
I had a question. Joe, remind me again, what drive is it on for us to review from the commission?
So I actually, well, you have access to it now because you're a town employee, but so what I did was I actually pulled it from the Google Drive and put it on the town's server, which is on the Open Drive, which we're the only ones who have access to it now.
Right.
I can send another copy. And if anyone wants to suggest changes to that still, let me know. Or if you're looking at the Google Doc and you notice something that needs to be changed, let me know. We basically moved like the live document from the Google Drive to the town's server. So that way we can let department heads take a look at it.
Okay. So when should the people that don't have access to the town drive, are we going to get all of the comments at once?
Yeah, I gave the department head, every applicable department head, I think until next Monday to look at it.
Second.
So once that's done, I can send it back out.
Okay.
Sure. Great.
So we have not much to discuss then. As far as all that, we have a special town meeting coming up a week from Thursday, February 4th. Heather, you're a town meeting member. Brian, your wife is. Dave, are you a town meeting member?
I am.
Oh, okay. What districts is that? 8 or
7?
7? Yeah. Okay.
Do we need representation in aid? Seven's a nice district.
No, nothing's gonna happen. I mean, it's just, you know, my information than anything else,
Okay.
as far as that goes. But, I don't know,
I think there are some changes being taken up at town meeting that are relevant to our plan. They came up in our meeting with Paul and Patrick from the planning department. There's some zoning changes related to stormwater management. I think increasing the landscape areas and parking lots and a few other things related to plantings to help better manage stormwater. So that's on the agenda for town meeting.
was that through Conservation Commission? That,
I think it's through the planning department.
oh, okay. Well, I didn't know if they approached you because of, the Conservation Commission because of that. So,
Oh, no, it actually came up when when the Sustainability Commission met with the planning department to talk about the plan. So
okay,
it's mentioned in the sustainability plan, and it's going to be taken up at town meeting.
okay. All right. So I'll keep watch of it. Or else, I don't know. Anybody have anything to yeah, kind of thin on, not have much to talk about as far as the sustainability plan, unless somebody has something, want to add or whatever.
Well, if we want, I could pull it up. We could look at some of Holly's comments or make any group changes if we'd like to.
I think that'd be useful.
Okay. Floor is yours, Joe.
Get this out. All right. Everyone see okay?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me move this over.
That's better on my screen.
Given the social pillar of sustainability and the dominance of social connection as a boon to public health and resiliency to personal and public disasters, the authors may wish to consider promoting social connections as a goal. She left a couple, 2 links for a couple articles for us to look at.
Yeah, I know the issue originally with this is the public health one, is like trying to find that line of like what's public health and what's sustainability, but I have no problem putting that in there. If everybody else is good with that.
I would make,
Was that note in reference to the heading, or I can't see where it's coming from? All right. Thank you.
she's circle disasters under public health.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
she's just saying add it to,
Additional line after that, is that where I insert after, the sentence that ends with disasters under public health?
I wonder if we can put something like, like it's, I wonder what she means by social connections, but it's like promote sustainable not sustainable ways, but promote green spaces and other ways to enhance social connections to support public health and resiliency.
I think, I mean, without having read any of the articles, it might also have to do with like just building networks and connections among people so that you have like a community to rely on when something happens.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But again, I haven't read the articles there.
I definitely saw that in June in Norwood.
Yeah. Yeah, then maybe just leave it the way it is then.
Okay, does that look okay to everybody?
Yep.
Okay. I guess that was our only comment.
Oh,
Oh, let me see that. We're waiting on a couple from Mark Ryan, but I think we might be able to just go forward with it. Reduce solid waste generation by. So when you use 2020 as the baseline. Okay, let's see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I just wanted him to weigh in on the 30% to see if that was like a reasonable goal or if that's a high enough goal. Maybe it needs to be more.
what, recycle content of the solid waste? We're at 30% now, aren't we? Or right in the high 20.
This is reducing overall solid waste generated by 30%.
Okay.
All right.
One thing, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it came up in one of my classes. A kid showed it to me, but there's like plastic bags. There's a new way to recycle them where there's like this guy, I think he's in like Weston or Weymouth or one of the W towns where he created this thing that forms into like a solid puck that then you can just put in your curbside recycling because it doesn't get caught up in the machines. So I don't know if I guess, do we still want to have ban or just like provide, because I know the supermarkets already, you can bring the plastic bags back.
I think the problem is they don't actually get recycled because there's not really a market for plastic recycling. It's so little of it is actually usable once you break it down. So I think we're getting away from recycling here because as a town, we're doing a good job of recycling what we can and getting much more towards reducing and reusing.
Yeah.
And, so a ban would have the effect of eliminating plastic bags altogether rather than having to figure out what to do with them.
That makes sense.
That would be my recommendation, just knowing, especially with plastics, how destructive they are and how little they actually get recycled, even the ones that are supposed to be theoretically recyclable.
So supporting a ban on single-use plastics is more effective than trying to do something with plastic bags once they're out in the environment. Okay. Any other comments that need to be addressed in the action plan?
Okay, Okay, well, I'll talk to the applicable department heads this week and see if we can get a final sign off on everyone by Monday.
Should we start working on the spreadsheet part of it where usually they take the goals, assign them to a certain department or party or something to be responsible for. And then the timeline for if it's a short-term, long-term, or short-term, intermediate, or a long-term goal as far as that. I mean, most of them do have that spreadsheet that lists the goals and who's going to do the action on it.
I think it's a really good idea. Do you mean to see if Chris Welch would be willing, if Chris Welch, the intern who covered for me a few weeks ago, if he'd be interested in doing that?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
It's like Town of Brookline had one. And I mean, when you start looking at them, I think they all have it as if it's not part of the action plan, it's part of the supplemental thing where they just use it as more or less a checklist of where, where's this goal fit into the time of the sustainability, and then who's the responsible party for taking the action on it. So, we're gonna have to do it eventually. So
Brookline, and who else had one?
yeah.
Do you know what other community?
Brookline comes to mind. I'm locked in on it, and
Okay.
well, Dedham had something, like a summary, at the end of this, something like that too.
Okay.
But it wasn't, Brookline's was very defined checklist. I think Dedham did too, but I have to go back and refresh my memory on that one.
Well, we could use that as a template to start off.
Oh, Brookline for sure. That's pretty well. I think I've seen it in some others, and it's basically the same when you go from, municipality to municipality. So, okay.
Joe, I don't know.
How long is Chris Welch with us as far as internship?
At least a few more months. He is actually a finalist to start a PhD program at Northeastern. I think even if he is accepted, he should still be with us probably through June.
So it's got enough time to do it.
Yeah.
Once it fits in. Okay. Well, let me know if he's agreeable to it, and not, we'll go to Plan B.
I was just going to ask, I don't know if Joe or Dave or anybody else knows. I know there was like a bill with the climate and initiatives going to the governor, and I think they had like the veto ability to override if he vetoed it. Is that going to affect anything that we're doing like in a positive way, or should we update anything based on that, or is it still too early to tell?
I think as you mentioned, the legislature might be able to override it, but I know Baker vetoed it, but also, I think he gave the legislature a list of items that if they changed that he would be more amenable to signing it.
Yeah,
But that's all.
They're gearing up to pass it again, but they haven't passed it again yet.
Yeah, it was a talk at veto, and he did. He just said, bring it to committee, let's discuss it. He's not opposed to most of the content. So, and Brian, I mean, I was then I did my final draft of the energy portion, looking at a lot of those goals. Just about everything in the plan, any plan at this point is looking 2035 is the halfway point, 2050 net carbon, net zero energy. So that section, the energy section of the plan, is reflective of many of the ideas that are in that. What is it? Senate bill, I have it bookmarked right here, 2995. It's a roadmap to the next generation roadmap. That's what it's called.
Nice. Excellent.
I know, Joe, are we confirmed for, what organization's doing the PACE presentation? Confirmed for next February
22nd.
22nd. Yeah.
So as someone from math development, the PACE program is related to efficiency and also, I guess, development that's more sustainable. Representative's going to discuss the program to us, I think, with the goal of, if the commission thinks it's a good idea, to recommend to the selectmen to adopt it.
Okay. Is anybody familiar with PACE except what I've just read from Mass Development, the slideshow? Joe, did you distribute did you send me the PowerPoint on that? Is that where I got it from?
Yeah, probably.
All right. So when you do the agenda, send out the agenda for February, would you attach that just so they'll have it? Everybody will at least have a chance to breeze through it at least once, and be prepared for it. It'll be about, I figure, 20-minute presentation. I think that's what we're queued up for. Okay. Ready? Anybody have anything to add?
Just wondering where we stand on commission members. I know we had at least John's spot to fill. I know if we were opening the positions to people to apply to.
We do it. We actually got an excellent candidate for that, for John's seat. Peter was definitely, I think, surprised and I think excited with her credentials. She has a PhD in environmental studies, I think, or she has a lot of experience. But yeah, the last thing we need to do is just have Tony sign off on that. Everyone has given me information about the term that they would like to serve on. Mark is he's going to step down, but he said he'll stay on at least until the Sustainability Action Plan has been approved. I still haven't heard back from Joe, though. I don't know if any of you have talked to him lately. Okay, I'll have to give him a call this week.
Okay.
It's exciting that there's a new candidate for John's position. That's great.
Hopefully we can bring her on in February. That's it.
Peter, I have one piece of business. I'd like to reach out to the commission members to assist me in ranking municipal parking lots for potential EV charging stations. There's a new grant that hit the streets a few weeks ago that I'm pursuing through Norwood Light and Energy New England. And there are other grant funds that have been extended through, I guess, June of this year. And lo and behold, just Mark Ryan continues to surprise you. And it's like, the biggest problem is running conduit and power to these locations. And you just repaved it. And he said, oh, we did all of that. We're just waiting for the money. So I got to go get the money. So there are a number of options. And I just like your opinion on, location. I talked to a few people around town and they're saying, well, if you put it in the Manhattan Street and Broadway lot, you're going to interrupt people that are bowling, you're going to interrupt people that are going to the Civic, because you will need to dedicate spots that can't be used for anything other than charging. So it was insightful talking to others, and if not coming up with solutions, at least answers to, say, vexing or pressing questions. So this is probably going to occur in the next few weeks. As we're writing the proposal, we have to give a series of lots, potential sites. We're not tied into any one thing right now.
Dave, does that include schools, school parking lots? They have to be under municipal control.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to do this in two phases. The first is for the direct charge, which is a level 3 charge. If there aren't any in the town right now, that was the Volkswagen money, the emissions settlement with EPA that occurred a few years ago. So we can get $50,000 per station. And once that's like, I think, a March 19th deadline for filing the grant, and then we'll work on other stations. But so we're looking at, all of the municipal lots, the 5 in the downtown area. Then we could go to the schools. Do you know the need at the schools, or?
How about I'm thinking schools, the teachers, things like that. How about this library? Would that be included?
That could be included. There's not, depending on where you're pulling power from. We hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, I mean, there's 5 downtown. What, 5 downtown lots?
Yeah.
Once he just did over, Mark had them all, trenched or whatever he had to do for. He's got some spec'd out already, but just since he doesn't have the money to put the charging station in, but he's spec'd them out. To connect them.
We'll spec out where they're going to pull power and where they'll dedicate the spaces.
How many charging? Well, it means 50. Is a charging station per plug, or is it like a charging station? A lot of them have can charge 2 cars from the same station.
Typically, there's one station, two spaces that are dedicated, 2 cables.
Okay.
What I'm finding in Massachusetts with a regular investor-owned utility, and because I'm doing this in Sharon as well, you have to put in the subterranean infrastructure for 5 stations. You can put in one charging port, but you have to have 10 spaces, at least enough space for 10 charging. 10 cars, 5 charging stations. They'll all be wired, and they figure within 10 years, even 5 years, the percentage of electric vehicles on the road will be quite substantial. Yeah.
But, Where does the senior center fall into that?
Well, it's not a school, it's an admin.
But it's under school, it's kind of under, a building under school control. I mean, well, I guess everything now is under facilities management, but I don't, you know, that, it's just kind of like where,
Yeah, they define a school as 15 or more students. So it could be a private school or public. I'm thinking for the first time out, putting something in the downtown area, something that's visible, might be the smarter way to go.
Yep.
And then, subsequent spots. There are a phenomenal number of charging stations in Knoll, like 19 charging stations in Knoll. They're all on auto mile, all but I think 8 of them are in one lot out in front of the old Factory Mutual, the new healthcare facility.
oh, okay, yeah, well, that makes sense.
But none of them are level 3 charging stations. So
I'll put in a plug for downtown locations. We used to drive to Dedham just to charge the car, and then we would go out to dinner and go shopping and stuff. So it's nice when you can leave the car and just walk around, visit local businesses.
yeah, and especially in downtown with a level 3, level 1. Brian, let's see how much you remember about buying your electric vehicle. A level 1 will charge in about 8 hours, level 2 in about 4 hours, level 3 in about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And you figure the amount of time someone might spend running errands in the downtown. Dinner, of course, it would be longer, but for a full, I guess, 80% to a full charge, that half-hour sweet spot, would be nice. So
I was going to say, Dave, that my driveway is pretty close to downtown. If you want to consider that.
I thought you were gonna put Howard, the corner of Howard and Washington.
the town hall lot would be great, or Talbot lot, either one.
Yeah.
Do you want an extra long cable, or do you just want a dedicated spot? So,
Yeah, my school is going to do the same. They're using the grants. They're putting in solar panels now, but then they're also using grants to put in charging stations. So,
Right.
But yeah, so maybe for the summer I'll need it. Get the extra long cable.
okay. I'm noting that right now. Brian's dreaming.
I can just use a bunch of extension cords, right? Just go to Home Depot and go that way.
He's sparking good.
Not easy being an energy manager. No, it's not. Anyway, so I'll send out some, if you're interested, and any feedback would be great. So,
Sure, sure.
Definitely.
and that's all I have.
Okay. Alrighty, well, if there's nothing else, I guess we can adjourn. Next meeting, Monday, February 22nd, 7:00, and we'll have Mass Development presenting PACE. And then hopefully after that, we'll have some comments from the department heads on the sustainability plan. Or sound like a motion? Alrighty, well,
Adjourn.
enjoy the rest of your evening.
All right, thank
Hi,
you.
everyone.
Signing off. Bye-bye.
Congratulations, everyone.